welcome back to English with Lucy. I've got another video with my friend Anna from English Like a Native.
Hello.
And today we've got a pronunciation video for you. Now, Anna is originally from... Where are you from?
From Manchester, which is in the Lancashire area. So I have a Lancashire accent, naturally.
Yeah, so it's a northern accent, and we're going to talk today about the difference between my accent and Anna's accent. Now, you might notice that Anna actually speaks with received pronunciation, but this wasn't always the case, was it?
No, it wasn't always the case, which is why I know it's very possible for any person with an accent to change it and speak naturally with any other accent that they want. So if you're learning English and you want to sound more English, then this is very possible for you to achieve.
Yep, so Anna is living proof that you can change your accent. But today we're going to be focusing on the difference between mine, which is a pretty standard British accent, and her original accent, which was the northern one.
So from now on, I'm going to speak with a northern accent, all right?
I love the way she can change like that. So this video is going to be divided in two. I'm going to do the first 4 differences, and then Anna on her channel is going to talk about 4 more. So when you finish this video, head over to Anna's channel by clicking on the link in the description box. Okay, let's get started.
Let's do it.
So 4 words are going to magically appear on the screen. Ah. Okay, so I'm going to read them with my accent, and then Anna's going to read them with her. So the first one is bath.
Bath.
Then we have grass.
Grass.
And then we have laugh.
Laugh.
And then the final one, after.
After.
Okay, so when I say ah, Anna says
Ah.
So this is one of the biggest differences between my standard British accent and Anna's northern accent.
It's also important to note that if you learn English via an American source, then you'll also be using this vowel, the ah vowel, instead of the ah vowel. Because Americans, they say bath, last, after, and grass, instead of bath, last, after, and grass.
God, we have the accent queen right here. Or is it the accent queen?
No.
Okay, so we're going to have 4 more words appear on the screen and talk about the next vowel sound that changes. So the first one, cup.
Cup.
Love.
Love.
Money.
Money.
And above.
Above.
So you might be able to hear that when I say Anna says
Oh.
So we've got oh.
It's quite subtle, but in a sentence, it's very, very obvious.
It's very noticeable, yeah. So it is a very subtle difference. And I know many students will say, it sounds the same. It doesn't. Oh. It's the shape that we make with our mouth.
Is more a smile. It's very light. You can feel it on the top of the mouth. And it feels like it's made more in the throat. There's more space in the mouth, and the lips are slightly rounded. I always think about a monkey here.
Oh my God, I can't bring myself to do that. So I'm going to try the northern one then. Cop, love, above. Is that good?
That's very good.
Oh, thank you. On to the next one then. Another vowel that changes. I say oh, and you say
Oh.
I say no.
No.
And we also have don't.
Don't.
And go.
Go.
So, oh no, don't go becomes
oh no, don't go.
oh no, don't go. Okay, so this O diphthong changes to
Yeah.
So I say O and you say
Oh.
oh.
So it's almost like it becomes one sound in the north, whereas in standard English, it's one vowel sound moving into a second vowel sound to oh.
If you'd like more information about the O sound, I have a video all about it that will be in the description box. Okay, lastly, we have a couple of words that change. They get shortened. So I would say I, whereas Anna would say
Ah.
So I would say I go home.
I go home.
I go home. So it's a instead of an I. Anna uses the word I in two different ways. Sometimes she uses the schwa, and sometimes she makes an a sound as well. Sometimes it will be a and sometimes a. Okay, and the second word is my, and this becomes
ma or me.
yeah. So I would say I love my mum.
I love me mum.
Me mom. Oh, isn't that sweet? So
Yeah.
I love my mum.
I love me mum.
So I would say I drive my car.
I drive my car.
Yeah, so quite different. Right, so if you enjoyed this video, head on over to Anna's channel where part 2 is waiting for you. So Anna's going to talk to you about some more vowel sounds and also some more consonant sounds that are different to standard English. Okay, so that's it for me on this channel. Don't forget to connect with me on all of my social media, all of our social media, which is all here. And I'll see you back on English with Lucy for another video very, very soon.
Ta-ra!
Ta-ra! Hello, welcome to English with Lucy.
Above. No. Above, yeah.
Up and line it down, like, oh, I look like I'm looking at my tits.
Compliments!
2 great big compliments.
Don't.
And go. And go. So either be I go home. Sometimes it will.
I love. God.
I love my mum. No.
Little coy.
Oh, okay. Sounds that change it. That are different. Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
Hello and welcome to British English Pro Elocution Online. My name is Anna and this is the lovely
Lucy from English with Lucy.
Now, if you are an English language learner, then you definitely want to head over to Lucy's channel because she has loads of fantastic videos all about how to speak English.
Yeah, definitely come and see me there.
And subscribe.
Definitely subscribe. Yeah, we've actually done part 1 to this video on my channel, so head over there as soon as you finish this one.
So what are we doing today? We're talking about the difference between a northern accent, which is where I'm from, the north of England, and a southern accent. Where are you from, Lucy?
I'm actually from Bedfordshire, but I've got a pretty standard British accent.
Now, I speak generally with a standard English accent as well. As you know, the reason you're here is to learn the standard English sound. But I was born in Southport and brought up in Manchester, which means I was brought up with a kind of Lancashire and sometimes a Merseyside type accent. So yeah, I can do Scouse. I can do a Scouse accent as well. But generally, I'm a northerner with a standard northern accent. So from now on, I'm going to be talking with my northern accent, right? Now we're going to cover some of the sounds that you'd have if you were a northerner. We've already covered 4 on Lucy's channel. You can watch that video in a moment. But now we're going to cover another 4 sounds. And we're going to start off with the diphthong sound, air, air. Now you should know that a diphthong is one vowel sound moving into another. So we start air into air,
Air.
air. But a northerner would change this into one standard sound, So now I'm going to say a word in my northern accent and Lucy will repeat the word with a nice standard accent, won't you, Lucy?
I will try.
Lovely. So the first word is her.
And I would say hair.
Her.
Hair.
What's that over the?
There.
There?
Over there.
Oh, okay. And my mum's called Mary.
Do you mean Mary?
Yeah, that's what I said. Mary.
Mary.
Okay, so they're very different, aren't they?
Yes.
Very different. And actually, not all northerners are as strong as that. They don't all say the and her. We're just going to the extremes here. They wouldn't necessarily do the full diphthong. They'd probably just say their, hair, share, and Mary. So they still make it one vowel sound. They're just not as harsh as the sound. Okay, so the next sound that we're going to look at is the consonant which you know is the back of the tongue high and it becomes a nasal sound. And we use this sound when we have an ing ending, for example, walking, singing. But northerners will release that plosive G at the end. So they'll release the pressure at the back of the tongue and let the sound go. So they'll do singing. And it's a very subtle difference, but it's very noticeable in a sentence, I think.
Yeah, so I would say singing.
And I would say singing.
Ah, singing. Yeah, I would say singing.
So some other examples, we have walking,
Walking.
ping pong,
Ping pong.
flying.
Flying.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
So the next sound is the aspirate H sound. Now you'll hear a northerner, if they even say this letter, they'll say H. So they'll say HSBC instead of
HSBC.
So you see they make it aspirate when they say the single letter, whereas a standard would make it a voiced a glottal sound.
H.
And when we put it into a sentence and a word, we actually omit the sound altogether. So I might say ohm,
And I would say home.
or I might say house.
I would say house.
Is this house your own?
This house is my home.
I might even say im and
Do you mean him and her?
Yeah, im and
Okay, him and her.
And finally, the final sound I'm going to talk to you about is the dark L sound.
Oh, it sounds scary.
It is a bit scary. A lot of people find this scary, actually. So there's a difference, as you may know, between the light L and the dark L, and the difference is the positioning of the back of the tongue. So a light L is at the front, la 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 la, like lovely Lucy, but a dark L is at the back, oh. And
Oh.
usually a dark L appears at the end of a word, so words like fill, film, milk,
Bottle.
bottle,
Bottle. Bottle.
bottle.
Difficult.
But if you're a northerner, you might find that you put the dark L at the front, or you darken your light L's. So words that begin with an L should be light, but northerners make it dark. For example, little,
Little.
lovely,
Lovely.
light.
Light.
This little light of yours is lovely, Lucy.
This little light of yours is lovely, Lucy.
So there we go. We've covered 4 sounds that show the difference between a northern accent and a standard English accent. Of course, the north of England has a variety of accents. We have Geordie, Scouse, Scottish, Yorkshire, Lancashire, and they all differ vastly. So this is just a generic, general idea. If you want to hear 4 more differences, then do head over to Lucy's channel, as we mentioned before, to see that other wonderful video that we did just a moment ago. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media channels where you'll find other really helpful resources. So go to our Facebooks, our Twitters, our Weibo. You've got loads, haven't you, Lucy?
I've got everything apart from Twitter.
You don't have Twitter?
My Twitter's someone's made a fake Twitter.
A fake Twitter.
Yes. Don't
Well,
know that.
do head over to those. We'll put all the links in the description box below. And if you're interested in having a great standard English accent, just like the lovely Lucy, and like I am speaking now, then there are courses available. They're very affordable. So head over to britishenglishpro.com to check those out.
All right.
All right, let's say goodbye. Ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Over there. Over. Flying.
Flying.
So, thank you. That's really, very good, Lucy.
Thank you. Really stupid saying that. And don't forget.
Yeah, resources to help you with your and don't forget to follow on up. Don't talk about someone's boobs. Yes, I said the B word.
I would never feel flattered by someone talking about my boobs. I would feel uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
So just avoid it.
It's far too direct.
Even if they're on show, it does not mean that someone's inviting you to mention them.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another English lesson. I'm in London at the moment and I decided to contact another English teacher who has a channel on YouTube. You might know her, it's Lucy from English with Lucy. We are going to meet together on camera so that you can learn a little bit more about how to introduce yourself in English.
Hello!
Hi, it's so nice to meet you.
Lovely to finally meet you. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you finding London?
So far it has been incredible. Like I've been, working really hard but also having lots of fun as well. It's just the weather that's not quite my cup of tea.
It's not great. It's a bit grey.
It's a little bit grey and a little bit drizzly. A little bit cold for me. I've spent a few days up in Scotland as well, which was even colder. So I guess now...
What's it like in Australia?
At the moment we're just going into summer, so it's starting to get warm.
Oh, I'm envious.
I'm looking forward to getting back there actually.
Do you live near the beach?
I do, yeah. I live in Melbourne, right near the beach. Yeah. So
And how long are you going to stay here for?
probably just another few days actually. So I've been here for about 2 weeks already.
Do you miss home?
Not really. It's nice to get out and explore and see new things and meet lots of new people like yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, I love travelling.
Do you?
Yeah.
So where have you been travelling recently?
Well, I used to live in Spain. I got to see quite a lot of Spain. I haven't been travelling recently.
Yeah.
I did go on a holiday to Spain this summer, but I'm looking to move abroad very soon.
Really?
I'm looking to go back to Spain very, very soon.
That I would love to visit Spain. I've never been.
Haven't you?
No.
Have you been to many other countries?
I have been, I've travelled quite a lot. I've been to Greece, so, warm, beautiful beaches, lovely in summer, that kind of thing.
I went to Greece this summer.
Did you?
I went to Kefalonia, one of the islands.
It is such a gorgeous part of
The
the world.
food.
And the food. It's
food.
like a mix of Greek and Italian food together, just my two favourites. The European summer is lovely. So
It is.
I'll
It's
make
a
sure
shame
that
about the winter.
I know. I'll make sure that I'm back here for the summer next time.
Definitely. And you need to visit Spain.
Yes.
Spain is my favourite country
Yeah.
in the world.
Yes. I know. It's been on my list for many years.
And the food there, if you like the Greek food, then you're going to love Spanish food.
I'm a bit tired of eating Spanish food in restaurants anywhere else in the world except in Spain.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. And I'm looking forward to having my first proper siesta as well.
Oh, have you never had one before? We need to correct that.
Not officially, no.
So I've seen on your channel that you quite like cooking.
Yes.
How did you get into that?
Well, to be honest, I learnt a lot of it from my fiance, Shah. So he is an excellent cook. And I guess when you get in a relationship with someone, you have to kind of up the ante a bit. So he was a really good cook and I needed to impress him with my skills.
Well, I know, cooking for one, it's just not the
quite
same, is it?
Actually, I'm awful at cooking for one. I always make about 6 meals worth and then I have to end up freezing it. It's kind of helpful, but I'm not good at cooking for one.
Well, I recently moved back with my parents for a short while before moving on to another country, and the best part of it is being able to cook for 3 other people.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you, the best part about it is you get like home cooked meals every night.
I make them myself.
You do it yourself?
Yeah, that's like my sort of agreement.
What's
you can
your-
have me here and I'll cook for you.
What's your specialty?
Well, I did travel in Italy a little bit. Actually, I didn't go in Italy, I went to Palermo in Sicily, and they taught me how to make a mean risotto. But I really like experimenting, so I kind of ask my dad and my brother, because they're the most appreciative, what do you fancy? And then I try and do it, but with a twist.
Okay.
So if they want Mexican, then I'll
Yeah.
do some sort of... I like to invent.
We're quite opposite in that sense. I'm very much like a find a really good recipe and, make
really?
the recipe. Yeah.
See, I like to find a couple of recipes, take inspiration from them, and then rewrite it myself and have a folder.
Interesting and very exciting.
So what's your number 1 recipe then?
I love cooking Thai food, actually.
I do love a Thai green curry,
Yeah.
but I find it hard to find a good paste.
Well, I make all of my paste myself. So that's why mine are so good. But yeah, it's all about the paste, right? So
Okay.
you cook that first, then you deal with the rest of it.
So you must have lived in quite a few countries then.
I've definitely travelled and visited a few. I've only lived I was born in Australia and I've lived most of my life in Australia, but I have spent some time living in Vietnam and also in Malaysia.
I've never been to Asia at all.
Haven't you?
In fact, I only have ever left Europe twice. Once was to go to Jamaica and once was to go to Grenada.
Oh, really? You're
Yeah.
a Caribbean kind of girl.
Yeah. I've lived just in Spain. I lived in Madrid and I lived in Seville and
Beautiful part of the world.
London and the countryside in England where I'm from, Bedfordshire.
What's the countryside like?
So green that
Yeah.
sometimes when I get off the train I have to put my sunglasses on because it hurts my eye. It's beautiful, lovely in spring and summer.
Yeah.
Autumn is stunning because you get all the fallen leaves.
Yeah.
And winter's nice. It does snow occasionally. Where I'm from, it's quite flat. But if you go further afield, you can go down the hills and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm looking to live in some other countries soon.
Soon.
Not sure.
Soon. It's one of the things that I love most about teaching and meeting new people is there are so many opportunities to, travel and go to different places. Places that you never really expected to go either. But
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it's a journey, isn't it? You just end up doing things that you never ever imagined and meeting lots of random people.
Yeah.
Like you.
exactly.
You're a random person.
running into you in London.
Okay, Emma. Well, I would love to show you my neighbourhood. So why don't we go and grab a coffee
Yeah, I'd love to have a little bit of a walk around. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
and have a chat?
Yeah.
Continue chatting.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video about introducing yourself to someone that you've never met before. So there was lots of small talk and conversation topics that you can use when you first meet someone. So if you would like to continue the conversation with Lucy and I, she has another video on her YouTube channel, English with Lucy, so you can find the link underneath this video. And in that video, we're going to be talking about our jobs and what we do. Hey, I've got a quick message for you before you go. If you would love to improve your English conversation skills, then consider joining my online training program. It's a step-by-step guide to English conversation, helping you to build the confidence that you need to start speaking soon. And it includes weekly conversation opportunities so that you can practice for real with me and your classmates. If you want more information, check out this link and hopefully I'll see you there. Bye for now.
Hello everyone, welcome back to English with Lucy. I'm with Emma from English.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. Today we're going to have a conversation. So we're going to have a chat and hopefully it will help you with your English listening skills. I'd like to ask Emma a few questions about how she became a teacher, her experiences. I think it's going to be really interesting because I'm genuinely interested in how you got started on YouTube and how you started teaching. I recommend that you listen to this video once without subtitles and then you watch it again with subtitles to see how much you understood. We also filmed another video about introductions, which is on Emma's channel, so make sure you watch that as well. The link will be in the description box. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so Emma, what do you do?
Well, Lucy, I'm a teacher. I teach English online. So I do that through YouTube or through my website and Facebook groups and that kind of thing. So I have lots of students online.
And how did you get into teaching? Because you originally did something different.
Yeah, I did. I've been teaching for about 5 years now.
Okay.
But before that, I was a landscape architect.
A landscape architect.
Correct.
Yeah,
So it was a design degree that I did at university.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, of course, I wanted to travel and I wanted to live in other countries and experience other cultures and things like that. So I decided to train to be a teacher.
And so did you teach in an academy or did you do private lessons?
I taught in an academy there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never had any Vietnamese students. I mainly teach Spanish students
Okay.
in person, but I have a whole rainbow of students on my online.
Yes.
On my online channel.
That's the great thing about teaching online.
But what do you think is the biggest challenge for Vietnamese students when learning English?
For Vietnamese students?
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it is to do with pronunciation, because we have a lot of very different sounds in English that are not really present in their pronunciation when they're speaking Vietnamese. So a lot of consonant sounds, especially when they're at the end of words, you know, the
That's
TH
funny.
sounds.
I get a lot of comments about the TH sound.
Yeah.
For Spaniards, actually, for Spanish speakers, the biggest problem is the pronunciation of the vowels.
Mm-hmm.
Because in English we have 12 vowel sounds and 7 diphthongs,
Mm-hmm.
and they just have 5 vowel sounds
Yeah.
and a couple of diphthongs as well.
And I think it's even more difficult because actually the script, the alphabet is the same. So the confusion between the letters and then the pronunciation is crazy. And of course with English not being phonetic.
Absolutely, because in Spanish it is phonetic.
Exactly.
You can.
Yeah.
I remember
You
seeing
read it as it is.
yeah, I remember seeing children read really, really long words in Spanish, and I thought, oh my god, you
kids
guys
are
must be the
brilliant.
geniuses. And then I realised that actually no, you just read it section by section, and the letters and the accents tell you exactly how to pronounce it. But in English, it just isn't like that.
Yeah.
How it's written is absolutely not how it's pronounced.
Yeah. And even if it's written like that, it can be in the different words, it can be pronounced completely differently, even if it's the same.
So, what do you think is the best way for students to learn how to pronounce words in English?
I think I'm a really big fan of imitating other native speakers.
Definitely.
And I think that's great for pronunciation practice, but also for, you know, learning the intonation and the rhythm of English. Because students will listen to us when we speak and hear that our voices are kind of going up and down and up and down, and that's so important.
Yeah.
There's so much meaning in that for English, you know.
The same sentence in a couple of different ways with different tones of voice.
And it means something completely different.
Completely changes it.
Yeah.
And that can really be confusing for students.
Well, it can be confusing when you're trying to speak and get your message across, but when you're listening, you know, you miss so much information if you don't understand that. So it's really important.
Another thing for me is the set phrases, like the expressions. But this is the same for learning any language. I remember when I was learning Spanish, hearing really weird phrases, and you either know them or you don't. You can't just guess.
Yeah. So you mean like idioms or, you know, weird phrasal verbs and you really
Phrasal verbs are huge.
It's like insider knowledge. Yeah, you really have to work on it. So what about Spanish learners? You've talked about some of the pronunciation problems they have, but what other kinds of problems do they have with English?
One of the big ones, in my opinion, is word order. You can't just translate sentences literally because we really change things around.
Yeah.
So one sentence in Spanish, you can't directly translate it into English. We're not going to understand you, or we're going to have a tough time understanding you.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Also, they really struggle with phrasal verbs.
And I think the confusing thing in English is some phrasal verbs have multiple meanings as well. So
yes. And some can be separable, others aren't. It's really difficult. Really difficult.
And so, what about your teaching experience? How did you get into teaching?
Well, it was by accident.
Really?
But it was the best accident I ever had. I was working in marketing in Madrid. I was doing a sandwich course at university, which is where you do 2 years university, 1 year in industry, and then 1 last year at university.
Okay.
Normally courses in England are 3 years, but if you do a sandwich course, they're 4. So I was going to do my year in industry in Madrid, and then the company closed, So I found myself jobless. So I did my teaching qualification just to fill that year.
In Madrid.
I did it in Seville, actually. I moved back with my ex-boyfriend and fell in love with teaching. I worked at an academy for a while, and then whilst I was finishing my degree, I ran a couple of English groups, and yes, then I started YouTube, and everything changed. Yes, it was a big decision.
It's a game changer for sure. So what is it that you really love about teaching?
I love that you can really make a difference and you can see it, and I like building people's confidence. So I know that after a 1 hour session with someone, I will be able to see a real marked difference in the quality of their language.
Yeah.
What about you? That's a good question.
Yeah. It's definitely, like, if I think about what I was doing before, and I was working in an office, in a team, that was great. But what I love about teaching is how instantly you can help people and, you know, really help them to change what they're doing, understand something, and start using the language differently. So I think that that's one of the really lovely things about teaching, is you can really help people and make a difference.
Yeah, and you can help them to open so many doors, because having an extra language can completely change your life.
Yeah.
If I didn't know Spanish, I wouldn't be here meeting Emma from English. So thank you so much for answering my questions.
No
It was very
problem.
interesting to talk to
It was
you.
lovely chatting, and lovely catching up with you here in London.
Yeah, it's been great. I can't wait to see you again.
Come and visit me in Melbourne.
I'll buy my ticket now. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you head over to Emma's channel. The link to her video, another video that we did together, just having a chat, all about introductions.
Yeah, introductions and small talk was our first video. Yeah.
That's in the description box. So click on that and go and see what we spoke about on Emma's channel. Don't forget to connect with me on all of my social media, which is all over Emma's face right here.
Here it is.
Hope you don't mind. We'll see you again for another English lesson very, very soon. Mwah. Already. Oh, okay. So. Okay. Oh my god, it's you again. Oh my god, it's you. Since you're in London, I'd love to show you my area.
Okay, do that again.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
When you said, I said Emma, and you're like, I was like,
Hi everyone, welcome to another English video. I am here in London and I have just run into another lovely English teacher, YouTube English teacher. It's Lucy.
Hello, I'm Lucy from English with Lucy, and I also have an English channel.
I'm sure that a lot of my viewers also actually subscribe to you, so I'm sure they'll be very excited to see us together.
Yeah, surprise!
So some of you might have already seen the video that we made together on Lucy's channel that was all about British slang words, and Lucy tested me to see how good my knowledge was of British slang. It was okay. But
You were pretty good, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, right now in this video, I'm going to be testing your knowledge of Australian slang, which is where I'm from. I'm holidaying in London, and Lucy's from London, but I'm originally from Australia.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's get started.
Okay, let's get going. I've got my list here. So the first one that I'm going to ask you about is arvo.
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 Arvo. Is it like avocado?
No, that's avo.
Oh!
What if I gave you an example? I'll see you this arvo.
Afternoon.
Yes.
Arvo.
It's really common. I'll see you this arvo.
The Savo. God, I would have no idea if someone said that to me.
Okay, let's go another one. Let's talk about a servo. And in the same way, we have a slang word that's called bottle-o. Just add an O to everything in Australia.
Savo. Bottle-o.
Arvo.
Okay, is a bottle-o a bottle? Of wine?
It's a bottle shop. So if you're going to go to the bottle-o, you would get wine.
Okay, so a bottle-o is the bottle shop.
Yeah, you guys call it an off-license.
Off
don't you?
license, yes.
Yeah.
So servo, is that just like a normal shop?
No, it's a service station.
Ah,
Like a petrol station. Yes.
My
Servo.
lord.
Add an O to everything.
Okay, servo. Service station.
Hot tip.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay, what's next? We have, oh, I think you'll know this one. This one's easy. A mate.
Oh, it's a friend. We actually use that as the same. And we also like to imitate Australians by saying, good eye mate. Good eye mate.
If you were going to imitate an Australian, you'd be like, mate.
Mate.
That's perfect. Okay, what if I said Barbie?
Barbecue.
Okay, good. Next one is, what if I said I was going bush?
Are you going out? To the countryside?
Ah,
To the bush.
See how the English people say we're going to the countryside, and Australian people say we're going bush.
There's no preposition or anything, we're just going bush.
I think you probably know this one. It's quite commonly known that we call these thongs.
Flip-flops.
Yeah.
Because thongs is a very skimpy women's underwear.
Yes.
So what do you call thongs? The underwear ones?
G-strings.
Oh yeah, G-strings. I remember I had to change my G-string on my violin.
What if I said I was going to have a durry?
Is that a delicious curry?
Ooh. No,
Not
it's
just a curry,
It's not quite as good as
durry.
a delicious curry.
I'm gonna have a durry. Is it a poo?
No.
It's like a
It sounds
diarrhea.
like it should be.
No idea.
It's also, it could be a dart.
A rush?
No, these are all words for like a cigarette. Slang word for a
You
cigarette.
call a cigarette a durry?
Mm.
We call it a fag. A fag, a
Fag.
ciggy.
A ciggy,
As well.
a dart, or a
Backing.
durry, or the ones that you roll,
Mm-hmm.
rolly.
Obviously. So basically, to speak Australian, you have to end everything in either O or E.
Yeah, or a. Any vowel.
Or A.
Just let it drift off.
You have to leave your mouth open.
A sanger.
A sanger. Sanger. I don't know.
If I said I'm going to grab a sanger.
Sandwich.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Sandwich is just sanger.
I didn't do too badly, did I?
No, not at all. You actually did better than I expected. So well done.
Thank you.
So that was Australian slang. Thank you, Lucy, for helping me out with that one.
Thank you for testing me.
Yeah, well, you did okay. If you are interested to learn a bit more about British slang, you can check out the video on Lucy's channel that we made together where she tested me on my skills with British slang. So
It's pretty good. Not perfect though.
But the link to Lucy's channel is just underneath this video in the description. Of course, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. And check out the website english.com for my English pronunciation and conversation training courses. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we will see you very soon.